So Saliva forms in 1996. They released their debut album in 1997. You joined in 1999. How did you find out that the band was even looking for a drummer?
Well, I I technically joined in 1998. Um, but the funny thing is once I accepted the job with Josie Scott, the singer, original singer, said, "All right," and I'll get to the other part of the story too. We're going to take a few months off, so we'll hit you up when we're ready to go. So then that carried into '99. So, but basically, I was in at the time. Saliva was the well, before Saliva, Josie and Chris DeBaldo, who was one of the original rhythm guitar player for Saliva, were in another band called Blackbone, and they were the biggest local Memphis band at the time. They packed out everywhere. They went on tour and stuff like that on an independent level. That band fell apart. They formed Saliva. Saliva became the number one biggest local band in Memphis in that area, and I had found my way into the number two biggest band in the area. My goal was always to move upwards. So but the band I was in kind of fell apart, and I had actually quit playing drums. I was with my who is now the mother of Zach Crosby, who's in Coldwards. I was with her. She was pregnant with Zach, and I was like 25 or so. And when she got pregnant, she was like, "You need to stop the music dream. You're too old for it. The time has passed. You need to like focus on family and working and all that stuff." So I told her I'd quit the other band, and I told her, "You're right. It's over. I've tried. I'm done." And then some months went by, and I got a phone call, and it was Josie Scott, who I knew because the band I was in had done some gigs with Saliva, and that's how I guess he knew about my drumming. And he said, "Hey man, this is Josie Scott from Saliva. Our drummer quit, and I love your drumming. I want you to be the drummer for Saliva. You don't have to audition. If you want the gig, it's yours." And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for. So I said, "Man, I would love the gig, but here's the situation." I told him what I had told my wife, and I was like, can you give me a couple of days to somehow try to,
You
work
got to
this
break
out
the
with her?"
news. Yeah.
Right. And he was like, "Yeah, man, just we're taking a break anyway. Let me know." So I talked to my wife, and I kind of beat around the bush. I was kind of dreading it, and I was like, "Look, I know I told you." And she's like rolling her eyes because and I was like, "But Josie Scott called me, and they offered me the Saliva gig, blah, blah, blah." And she said, "You know what? If you would have said any other name, I would have said, hell no. But I know that Josie Scott is going somewhere. So if you don't take this gig, you're dumb." So I was like, "Oh." And then that's how the whole Saliva gig came into play. And then, like I said, I called Josie back, and I was like, "All right, I'm in." And then he was like, "We're taking a break for a few months. So I'll give you a call back whenever we're ready to start rehearsals."
Wow, that's the power of Josie Scott, eh?
Yeah, man.